You talk about the relationships with students. Did you feel like music drew you closer to students and allowed you to make maybe a faster and deeper connection with them?
I think music definitely enhanced everything we did in the classroom, and specifically our relationships for sure. It's fun to have songs to show my students. I would always show them songs before they came out, and they always gave us feedback and loved them, and we would do dance parties sometimes.
Hello and welcome to the Supercast. I'm your host, Superintendent Anthony Godfrey. She has been a teacher at Riverside Elementary by day, and by night on weekends has performed live concerts throughout the state. On this episode of the Supercast, we take you to a weekend regional music festival in American Fork. That's where we catch up with teacher Lydia Theobald, who is a vocalist and keyboard player with the very talented local folk rock band Seaslak. Hear firsthand about the history of the band and how Lydia's love for music has spread to students in her classroom over the years. We are in American Fork at the Fork Fest Music Festival, and we're talking with Lydia Theobald about being in the band Seaslak, and she just finished up her time at Riverside Elementary School. So a lot going on for you right now.
Yeah, it's been a busy week for sure.
Yeah, thank you very much for talking with us. So you're a member of the band Seaslak. Tell us a little bit about that and about the performance today.
So my friend from high school, Mick Rudolph, started the band about 3 years ago, and I joined the band 2 years ago, and it's just been super fun to be in that while being a teacher at Riverside. It's been a really fun balance, and I sing in the band and I play keys. And we perform probably every couple months, and so tonight we're playing here on the Forest stage, which is a really fun location to be in.
Now the Forest stage, for those who have not been to Fork Fest, and until today that included me, is in a forest at a park in American Fork, and it's the coziest, most welcoming venue I've ever been to. I'm a big concert guy. Red Butte is very welcoming. Yeah. But I've never been surrounded by trees quite like this for a performance. Have you performed here before? Have you watched bands before? And what are you thinking going into this?
We performed here the last 2 years, and I was here last year, and it was such a fun show. So going into tonight, I'm just excited. I feel great. I'm really, really excited for our performance tonight.
Do you think your music is particularly suited to this stage?
Yeah, I think so. I think we have a little bit more of a folk vibe. And so I think it does well with the colorful banners on the, strung between the trees and the lights. It feels like it suits us really well.
Tell me about juggling being a teacher and a performer, musician at the same time.
It hasn't been too bad. The only hard thing is that we practice down in Springville, and so we get home pretty late the night before, a school day. So Thursdays I was always a little more tired at school. But it was always fun to have songs to show my students. I would always show them songs before they came out, and they always gave us feedback and loved them, and we would do dance parties sometimes, and I do a lot of music with my students as well, and so it just felt like a natural extension of who I am.
Now, I talked with one of your parent fans from Riverside Elementary, and apparently there are a number of them that came to one of the Seaslak shows. And she told me that you write songs, that you teach the kids songs that you've written. Talk to me about that.
So my second year, I had a student who had some pretty big emotions, and I thought, I just need to give him some kind of tool. I know there's something I can do to help him, and I just kind of started thinking of this song. I don't know if every school uses the zones of regulation, or if that's just a Riverside thing.
Not everyone. I've heard of it before.
Yeah.
Which would be another name for a band that really somebody ought to pick up.
Regulation.
Yeah. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the zones of regulation.
Yeah, totally. So the zones just describe how ready you are to learn. Blue is sad and tired. Green is ready. Yellow is a little too much energy, and red is out of control. And so the song basically kind of goes through, when you're in the blue zone, what does that feel like? When you're in the red zone, what does that feel like? And then the chorus is you being your own friend and talking to yourself and encouraging yourself to get back into the green zone. And I've taught my students that song every year. And one of the moms at school said, you have to get your students together before you leave, all the students that know that song, to sing it. So on Thursday, we all came to the gym and they all sang it, and it was so sweet to see. And a lot of the moms have said, we still sing that. Anytime we're having a hard time, we just sing that chorus of, you can do this, you're so loved, take a breath and look inside. And so that's been really meaningful.
Can we expect to hear a recording of that as a rare Seaslak B-side, maybe Japanese import on a flexi disc or something?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Okay, I'm watching for that. Let me know. I want to be one of the people that gets a limited edition copy. So, talk to me about the set list tonight. Did you guys set it up in rehearsals, or did you plan that out well in advance, or talk to me about that?
Yeah, so we have a pretty short set. It's only 30 minutes, which totally flies by. So we're playing mostly songs that we've performed a lot, and we have one new song tonight that we've never performed before. And then we have a song that isn't released yet. I think all the other ones have been released, but The Funeral is the one that hasn't been released, that will be coming out in the next month, hopefully. So we're excited to sing that one for sure. Well,
once I heard that you were in the band, I started listening, and there's some great stuff. Really,
thank you.
People, I feel like I overlooked local bands, and I was really glad that your recordings were drawn to my attention because of this interview. And I really like If Only in My Mind. I mean, there's some great lyrics there, and just really, really good music. So I'm looking forward to the performance, separate from just the fact that I get to talk with you and record this. Talk to me about what's next. You're done teaching at Riverside after 5 years, is that right?
Yeah. So I'm hoping to just do a lot of little things, kind of exploring my options, and I'm starting out teaching piano lessons and doing some tutoring, teaching voice lessons. I'm going to work at a garden, just little fun things, but I am excited to have more time to work on music stuff, both Seaslak and then also just my own music stuff, which I don't have anything released, but just some different stuff I'm working on.
A little solo stuff on the side.
Yeah, nothing crazy, but it'll be nice to have some time.
You heard it here first. This is the exclusive from Lydia, with the Zones of Regulation as an early EP title.
Yeah.
That's really exciting. What turned you to music? When did you first want to record music, and when did you first realize you had some talent in that area?
I think it's been a part of my life as long as I can remember. I took piano lessons from the time I was probably 8 and started singing probably. I was singing my whole life. My mom says I sang more than I talked as a kid. But I think it wasn't until junior high when I found my sister's old guitar in the closet and thought, oh, this seems fun and not too hard. So I kind of taught myself a little guitar, and I sang in the junior high talent show, Fix You by Coldplay. And
nice.
Yeah,
Good
a
choice.
classic for sure.
Right.
And that's when I realized, this is something that I really like, and it seems like I have some talent for it. And so since then, I've been doing a lot of singing, playing guitar, piano stuff. And so joining Seaslak has just been so fun to feel my talents magnified by everyone in our band is so good. I would say they're all better than me musically. They're all more accomplished. You've got a music major, someone who's done guitar their whole life and teaches guitar. They're all really talented, and so it's been really fun to feel myself stretched by how good they all are.
I'm going to ask you 2 questions about music. First of all, you mentioned earlier that you know these other local bands. Tell me, what are 1 or 2 local bands that everyone ought to know?
Local Kin is a band who we are really good friends with, and we're crazy about their music. So definitely look them up.
Local Kin?
Local Kin.
Okay.
Yeah. And then another one I would recommend is the band Farron. I actually don't know if they have any music released, but they're amazing. I really, really like this.
Farron, like Ferrin?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're
Great.
really fun.
And what music has inspired you? What are some of your favorites that people might know?
When I was in high school, Regina Spektor was my idol.
She's coming August 1st.
Oh, yeah,
to San Diego
I saw her
Theater.
a couple years ago.
Yeah.
I think she musically influenced me quite a bit.
Yeah.
And these days I'm listening to a lot of Feist, Vampire Weekend, Grizzly Bear. I'm trying to think who else.
Those are some great bands.
The Staves. Kishibashi.
Kishibashi.
Yeah.
I don't know Kishibashi.
Yeah, he's a Japanese-American artist. He's really cool.
I saw Grizzly Bear years ago in New York.
Oh, cool.
They're awesome, and
cool.
I'm a huge Vampire Weekend fan. I saw them when
they're so fun.
They played some of their songs twice at the first show where I saw them because they didn't have enough to fill the whole concert. So
cool.
Good taste.
Thank
And
you.
I'm going to check those out. So.
Yeah, cool.
Okay, awesome. You talk about the relationships with students. Did you feel like music drew you closer to students and allowed you to make maybe a faster and deeper connection with them?
I think music definitely enhanced everything we did in the classroom, and specifically our relationships for sure. Both the song that I described, which was so, I think, important to kids, and then also other songs that were fun, like got caterpillars and got to watch them transform into butterflies, and we ended up doing a song that goes through the different stages of a butterfly's life from its perspective. And there were just so many giggles and just so much laughing, and I know the kids learned that better and are going to remember that forever. And I do feel like it was a really special bonding experience with the kids, for them to experience that, for us to laugh together and sing together. So I think music has really enhanced the relationships I've had with my students.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. It sounds like a really engaging, really fun classroom. Have you noticed in your students some of the same things that you noticed in yourself in terms of musical talent?
Yeah, it's been really fun as we've learned different songs to hear some voices that I think, oh, they're having fun, but they might not ever do anything musical.
That's right.
Then some that I would love to somehow work with again, because their voices are beautiful or they have natural rhythm. It's really fun to see. And I believe anyone can learn to sing. Anyone can learn to understand music, but it is fun to hear who kind of already is interested in that.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah.
Now that you are just days past your last days teaching at Riverside, reflect on those 5 years. Tell me what you liked most about being a teacher and what it was like being a teacher at Riverside.
I have really loved my journey as a teacher. It was really hard to walk away because of the relationships with the kids and the parents and the faculty. I think the relationships with the kids were by far the most important thing, the most rewarding thing, and seeing the transformation of the kids from the beginning to the end. Academically, for sure, that was rewarding, but seeing how their emotional regulation skills improved, and even just our relationship, because you would see at the beginning of the year these kids that really struggled regulating themselves and were prickly and cold, and then at the end of the year were glued to my side, and I knew, like, okay, my efforts to love you were not in vain, and that was really rewarding to see every year.
Well, thank you again for taking time before your performance today. Thank you for everything you did at Riverside. I wish you the best going forward. I can't wait to hear your live set today, and I'll be listening to Seaslak and watching for your solo work.
Thank you so much.
Stay with us. When we come back, hear Lydia perform live with Seaslak.
Dying over shame, you never fall in love, but the feeling makes you thin, and the writing's on the wall, it's all your favorite band.
Never miss an episode of the Supercast by liking and subscribing on your favorite podcasting platform. Find transcripts for this episode and others at supercast.jordandistrict.org.
Hello, I'm Sandy Riesgraff, Director of Communications for Jordan School District, and we want to invite you to connect with us. So many exciting things are happening in your child's school, your neighbor's school, in every school here every day. Don't miss out on following the fun or simply staying informed when there's important information we need to share. Join us at jordandistrict.org or follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Jordan District. We can't wait to connect.
Well, we're just entering the golden hour here in American Fork. We had a huge audience here in the forest line up, ready for Seaslak. So we're excited to hear this concert. I understand that there are going to be a couple of songs that they haven't performed before, in addition to their newest single. And it's just really exciting to see the support that they have, even though there are other bands performing at the same time. You look out in the forest, and first of all, the stage itself has a lot of cool kind of antique frames and lights that look like candles and lamps, and the backdrop is shutters and doors, and it's just a really cool setup. And then out in the crowd in the forest, you can set up a camp chair, but there are also just random couches and other chairs and things set up in the forest, and it's really, really a cool vibe. Strings of lights in between trees. Just really exciting to see the success that Seaslak is enjoying, and we're looking forward to hearing them.
All right, Forest Stage, how did we already arrive at the second to last act on the stage? Our penultimate act of the night has been compared to Noah Kahn and Shaky Graves, but that undersells their rock-solid musicianship and harmonies that would make Crosby, Stills, and Nash jealous. Last year, this band hit the road for a string of dates with our friends, the National Parks. Please put your hands together for a personal favorite of mine, Seaslak.
How's everybody feeling tonight? Now, baby, rolling under, speak shelter from the storm.
Thanks for joining us on another episode of the Supercast. Remember, education is the most important thing you will do today. We'll see you out there.